Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the Power Playroom. It's Brenica here, and today I'm talking about how so much of life is similar to chess. Guys, one thing that was so fascinating growing up, moving around to 7 different countries, visiting many more, and meeting people from all over the world, was that as I would move through different environments, different spaces, I would always find myself running into the same people, just with different names and different faces. And with this, I also started to recognize that there were certain social dynamics that would go on that would repeat themselves. People tend to behave the same way no matter where I would go, irregardless of the social expectations and the social standards. I noticed that wherever I would go, people were people. And this is super fascinating for me. And you know what I did? I was like, okay, if this is the case, then I'm actually gonna look into why this is. So I did so much studying, and this studying came in so many different forms, whether that was people watching, whether that was talking to a lot of people, asking why, having and leading with a sense of curiosity, and even getting into studying psychology, getting into studying philosophy, which these fields have, really just studied human dynamics. And as I also started to, get into chess, first, watching the Queen's Gambit, and then being inspired by that, learning about the game and learning the game and starting to play the game, I noticed how so much of chess resembled life, and how chess is such a metaphor, not only for life itself, but also every single social dynamic that you walk into. Every single social dynamic, you have the pawns. The pawns are the people who oftentimes say stuff like, oh, there is no social game going on, or who kind of reject this idea of power, who reject this idea that these social games do exist, and who accept that they are a part of them, whether they like it or not, and whether they agree to it or not, because every single choice you make, whether that is in action, is a choice and affects the greater system that you're in and affects the greater chessboard that you're on. And when you walk inside, okay, you have the chessboard, you have the pawns. You have, of course, the knights, right? The knights are a bit more powerful. They're a lot more unpredictable. Usually the knights are the wild cards, and usually the knights are the wild cards in these settings and in these social groups, right? The people who may not 100% fit in, the people who may not, the people who understand the game and who move in their best interest, right? And who move unpredictably, right? Those are the knights. You have the bishops, and the bishops are predictable, but they're powerful. And the bishops are oftentimes very close to the court, right? Very close to the queen and the king. And finally, you have the queen and the king. And yeah, the king and, or you also have the rooks. The rooks, similar to the bishops, are also powerful. And the rooks, I would say, yeah, the rooks are also predictable. I would say they're less powerful than the bishops, but they're still powerful nevertheless, right? The rooks and the bishops kind of go together. Then you have the king and the queen, right? The queen is the most powerful player, at least in terms of the moves that she can make on the board. She can cover any span, and she can really do anything that she wants to, right? And the thing is though, even though the queen, many people think that she would be the most powerful player on the board, and arguably she is the most powerful player on the board. The reason why the king is the most powerful player on the board is because everyone moves from his influence. And you know what? He actually has some of the weakest power. Maybe he has a little more power than the pawn in terms of the ability to move, his ability to move, but the whole game revolves around him. And guys, when you walk into any single space, any single social setting, you have to realize that these games are going on. You have to, when you walk in, start thinking, okay, who are the pawns? Who are the bishops? Who are the knights? Who is the queen and who is the king? And guys, even though, king, queen, these are gender terms, every space you're going to walk into is going to be different, but the rules and the ideology still stays the same. The metaphor still stays the same. And most importantly, while you're drawing on this chessboard, you have to then place yourself. You have to say, okay, who am I? What position am I in? What position do I want to be in? You know, how powerful am I? How weak am I? How can I become more powerful? How can I appear less powerful? There's all of these things that you have to take into account. And in order to play the game of power, you have to first accept that you're playing. And then after, and I feel like that's the biggest part. I feel like the biggest part is actually accepting that you're playing. Actually accepting that there's a chessboard. Again, whether you like it or not. And if you don't accept there's a chessboard, that just means that you're going to get played instead of playing, guys. So make sure that as you walk through life, you are playing and you are not getting played. And power, the game of power, it's not inherently bad. It doesn't mean anything bad. Power means, honestly, control over outcomes. Power means influence. Power means being valuable and providing value. Those are all things that, you know, a lot of us strive for. So if you accept that, if you change your view of power, and if you accept that you want to be powerful, right? Who wants to be weak and who wants to be helpless in their life? You know, maybe some people do, but I know the vast majority of people don't. And especially if you're on this page, you definitely don't. So the first step is accepting that there is a game. The second step is drawing out that chessboard. And the third one is positioning yourself to where you want to be. And yeah, honestly, I would definitely recommend watching The Queen's Gambit. It's such a amazing TV show, one of my favorite ones. And yeah, the more and more that you start playing chess or looking into chess or understanding chess, you will understand why it's been such a integral part of, like, especially Western society and a game in Western society for so long. And even in, you know, Eastern societies like Go in China, I believe it's thousands of years old, right? And that's because these games, they teach you so much about life. And whilst you're playing, not only are you having to read the board, you're having to read the opponent, and most importantly, you're having to read and understand yourself. And guys, it's the same in life. You cannot understand someone else if you don't first understand yourself. Alrighty guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And please pop a comment down below of a setting that you walked into, the chessboard that you drew out, and where you positioned yourself for power and to win the game. Alrighty guys, have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon.